2023 was a pretty good year to be a Power Ranger fan, but it was not the kindest year to Hasbro. They lost over $1 billion. Super Sentai looks like it's not doing great in Japan. And what does that mean for Power Rangers? I think it truly means that we need an original reboot. We need to try something different. We're going to talk about it, tell you what's going on with Hasbro, tell you what's going on with Super Sentai, and tell you why we think that we need to evolve and try some new things in the future. Let's get into it. Hit that intro, Rangers.
You are watching the Fan Club.
You're watching the Fan Club.
And you're watching the Fan Club. Do you know what time it is?
And you know what time it is.
It's time for the Fan Club. Let's go. Hey!
I can't do this on my own, cause you know things ain't always sweet when you out here in these streets. But my morpher when it morphed, I made a fake one.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fan Club. It is your boy, Dan Brosnan, in the building. Welcome to the show. We have a very interesting video. This is one of those videos where we're going to be talking about some things that you could perceive as negative, but really it's just the truth. It's just the things that are happening. We don't like to shit on the brand. We do see the positive and the good things that Hasbro has done for Power Rangers, but we're not going to lie to you if the sky is falling, all right? We have to get into a few different things, but first, I want to start out by saying that Hasbro lost over $1 billion. Yes, folks, that actually happened. Hasbro, a renowned toy company, faced significant setbacks in 2023, resulting in a staggering $1.06 billion loss during the fourth quarter. The company's revenue took a significant hit, declining by over 20% compared to the previous year. To put it a different way, they were worth $14 billion in 2021. They're worth $7 billion now in 2024. They have lost like half of their value. This downturn was primarily attributed to a drop in sales across its consumer products and entertainment segments. Despite these challenges, Hasbro experienced a surge in revenue from its Wizards of the Coast and digital gaming segment, driven by licensing revenue from popular titles like Baldur's Gate 3 and Monopoly Go. In an effort to address the financial losses, Hasbro announced plans to reduce costs by $750 million by the end of 2025. The company expects further revenue declines in the year ahead, particularly in Wizards of the Coast and consumer products segments. As a result of these financial setbacks, Hasbro has to lay off a significant portion of its workforce, with 1,100 employees being let go in December. This is brutal, and I think some of it is bad luck and some of it is self-inflicted wounds. They were doing things within some of these other brands out there that the fans weren't necessarily liking, especially with like Beyblade. I think they lost Beyblade. The fans pretty much turned on Hasbro towards the end. I know with D&D, the fans aren't super happy about that, and they made a lot of money this past year, but now they're saying they're expected to see a decline in the years ahead with Wizards of the Coast. That's interesting. I don't know what in the heck is happening with Hasbro, but I do know that if they can figure out some of their self-inflicted wounds, what they're doing to hurt themselves, and figure that out, they're going to save some money. That's what they need to figure out. And laying off people isn't necessarily solving your problems. It's going to save you money. But now you have less people to help solve the problem, and do you understand what the problem even really is? Are you listening to the fans? Are you giving them what they want? It is an interesting question to ask at this point, right? When a company loses $1 billion, it's not just bad luck. Yes, there are things that are happening that impact the market that are hurting Hasbro. Good example, the inflation right now is ridiculous. So we have to pay for other things that are already expensive, and buying a toy isn't necessarily the top priority. But at the same time, even as a Power Ranger fan, they're not really giving us anything right now. So why would I want to spend money with Hasbro, right? They're not really giving us anything, except I did buy an X-Men 97 X-Jet. I think we're going to open that up and make a video about that. And I'm still buying stuff, but it's not as frequent. But tell you the truth, it's just because they're not giving me stuff that I want, right? Hasbro needs to figure out how they can continue to grow their brands, but actually make some money and not have all of their figures end up at Ollie's or Big Lots or one of these liquidation places, right? We need to figure out what is the internal issues and fix them. If you figure that out, and that's easier said than done. I'm just the Power Rangers YouTuber that follows Hasbro. I understand these guys, they're a lot brighter, a lot smarter than me with a lot more assets and things to move around with. But I see that a lot of it is internally. A lot of it is just going to buy a figure and the figure's missing a head, or as soon as you bend the leg snaps off. Some of it is internal problems with quality control, how they're actually making their products. There are some things that they can fix themselves, and if you don't have to give refunds on all these figures, that's going to save you money too. And the biggest thing for me is they need a new original show that hits, man. Hasbro the last few years has been known to buy big IPs, but we haven't really seen one, or that I can remember that they created, that just kind of blew up lately. It's been a lot of YouTube stuff, a lot of streaming service stuff, and Hasbro with E1 was pretty good about getting their products and their shows on the streaming services, hence Power Rangers and Netflix. They've done some good things, and I thought that they brought more to Power Rangers than Saban did, because they're an actual real toy company mixed in with entertainment. They do it all. They're not just Saban, who works with Bandai and they make a few shows. Hasbro makes hella shows. They have deals with a bunch of different people, and now that E1's gone, it changes a lot of different things. So I understand that until we see what's really happening, I get the skepticism, okay? I do like to be more optimistic, but even I'm like, okay, Hasbro, it is a little bit murky waters right now. Are we going to drown, or are we going to paddle? Are we going to get this ship rolling in the right direction? Now, Hasbro has been dealing with some problems, but so has Super Sentai. I want to read to you guys an excerpt from an interview with Bandai president from the January 2024 issue of Toy Journal. The situation of Super Sentai seems to be very serious. The current situation is that the overall popularity has not increased. Compared with before, children today spend less time watching TV, and their awareness of IPs such as Super Sentai has also declined. Therefore, it is very important to increase the contact points between children and IP. In addition to TV broadcasts, you can also use video website distribution, hold activities in nurseries and kindergartens, and enrich store sales activities to increase exposure and strive to attract children. Well, that was very, very interesting, because I have a love for Super Sentai. I don't watch it like I should. I really should sit down and get some of these seasons and pay some respects to the Sentai seasons. However, I have seen so many people in the comments over the years tell me how Super Sentai is ran so much better. And honestly, hearing that tells me that it's not ran as much better as Power Rangers. I mean, think about it. They are still on TV, and it is 2024, and they're just realizing that, and that's their excuse now. Y'all should have been on top of it. I know when Power Rangers goes to Netflix, it is trending for a week or two. I know it doesn't stick around that long, but it is always trending. That is the one thing that you can tip your hat to with Power Rangers, is the fans will run the numbers up if you put it in the right place. This is not in the right place, and we're in 2024, and they're basically saying that they're going to continue it to be the same. Therefore, it's important to increase contact points between children. I don't think going to kindergartens and going to nurseries and schools, reaching out to people and telling them about Super Sentai is going to get them to go watch it if that's not part of their routine, right? If this is not on a streaming service, if this is not accessible to the young kids, they're not going to use it. If you look at all the people that don't really have cable no more, and it might be different over in Japan, but I know at least over here, everything is streaming, and I would assume it's like that over there, because if it was just all cable, you would probably see the numbers be positive and not be declining. It is interesting. Now, with that being said, Super Sentai is kind of failing in its own right. Hasbro is failing in its own right with its own things. What does that mean for Power Rangers? What are we going to do? What should happen? Well, I'm going to tell you what I think could happen, should happen, what I would like to happen, and then I want to hear from you guys. Power Rangers, a beloved franchise spanning 3 decades, has reached a juncture where a reboot is essential to revitalize the series and introduce fresh perspectives. While the franchise has enjoyed immense success, its formula has become somewhat predictable, limiting its potential for innovation. A reboot would allow Power Rangers to break free from these constraints, explore new storylines, introduce diverse characters, and cater to a broader audience. The franchise's best stories have often originated from sources outside the TV show, such as comics and non-canon movies. These ventures have demonstrated that Power Rangers can successfully exist beyond its traditional format. Seasons like Power Rangers in Space and alternate reality storylines have proven the show's versatility and adaptability. The recent ending of Cosmic Fury, marking the saga's 30th season, presents an ideal opportunity for a reboot. The finale wrapped up several long-standing storylines, providing a natural conclusion to the current Power Rangers chronology. This transition point allows the franchise to embark on a new chapter with a clean slate. The reboot should aim to reinvent the show with an original story set in a new continuity. This approach would liberate Power Rangers from the constraints of its past, enabling it to explore fresh concepts and narratives. It would also allow for the introduction of new characters, settings, and villains, expanding the franchise's universe. An effective reboot should target a broader audience, including young adults. By incorporating more mature themes and complex character development, the show can appeal to a wider demographic. It could draw inspiration from the positive reception of the 2017 Power Rangers movie, which, despite its box office struggles, demonstrated that audiences are open to a more sophisticated take on the franchise. Furthermore, a reboot could dive into the rich mythology established in the Power Rangers comics. The comics have introduced compelling storylines and explored the characters' motivations and relationships in greater depth. Adapting these elements into a TV series could provide fans with a deeper and more engaging narrative experience. In conclusion, Power Rangers is ripe for a reboot that would revitalize the franchise and introduce innovative storytelling. By embracing original stories, targeting a broader audience, and exploring the potential of the comics, the reboot could usher in a new era for Power Rangers, attracting both longtime fans and newcomers alike. And that's why I believe we need it. We see what is going on with Hasbro. They need to make some money. Super Sentai, they need to make some money. And we still could use the Sentai in some way. We could have suits that kind of look like it. What if Toei made the suits but made some like 2024 big box office suits? It's interesting. Or would these be American made suits again like Cosmic Fury? What do you think is going to happen to Super Sentai? This does affect other companies and shows out there in Japan that aren't on streaming services. If they are still depending on network TV and they haven't switched at this point, that's not a good sign, but Super Sentai has gone on for so long. If anyone's going to survive and find a way, it's going to be them, but they have to get with the times. Hasbro needs to figure out all of their internal issues and then really give the fans what they want for all of these big IPs that they already own, and then they need one big original concept show that blows up. That's how you get them out. And then with Power Rangers, I think an original project, something that the fans could appreciate, but something for a broader audience would really make some money, man. Let me know your thoughts. I love you guys so much. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this long ass video. We love you. Thank you so much for watching again, and we'll see you next time. Peace. I just want to give a special shout out to the Gold Ranger members out there: the Arctic Operator, Roderick Ham, Papillon Purple, Salima Ramirez, Danny Nascimento, Stephen Heffelman, Chaos Draco, Thomas Franco, Anime King Nick, Louis Cairns, Miguel Ortiz, and Sean Schiffer. Thank you guys so much for your support, and if you want a video shout out like this one, sign up to be a Gold Ranger member today. I just want to shout out all of the fans out there for taking the time out of their day to watch this content. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you can, please like, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and hit that share button. And if you guys want to be a member, click that join button right now. We have a Blue Ranger membership that gets you into the exclusive fan chat Discord. Then we have the Gold Ranger membership. It gets you into the fan chat, but you also get a video shout out at the end of every video. I want to thank you guys again. If you can, sign up to be a member. We will see you next time. Peace.
Hi, we're Bulk and Skull. We have been requested by the fan club to say something funny.